number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
Welcome to Spotlight on the Arts. I'm Patrick Cristiano, your host, the publisher of TheaterLife.com, a website for theater buffs covering Broadway and off-Broadway theater in New York and covering social events here in the Hamptons. And I have a really special guest today, my friend Kate Mueth, the founder and artistic director of the neo-political Cowgirls, and to me, a local legend.
But I'm still alive, so
oh yeah,
not quite there yet.
Let's not put you in the legend category
Elizabeth
yet.
Taylor, like we were saying before. Yeah.
But to me, you're really special. Is what I really meant by that.
Thank you.
And thank you so much. I've been trying to get Kate on for a while. She is so extraordinarily busy. I do not know how you do everything you do. First of all, let's just hit. You're going to be doing as part of Black History Month this coming Saturday. With the 29th here at LTV, you're doing Vivian's Music, 1969, a play by Kate Bothas?
No, Monica Bauer.
Monica Bauer, okay.
Monica Bauer wrote this, and we produced this out here for a one-off last year at Guildhall for schools and a general audience in the evening. It's an important play. It's a wonderful launching off point for the kinds of conversations that we need to be having to, begin understanding our community and racism. And what's still happening today.
This is a two-hander and about a woman in
a girl
in the Midwest.
A girl, yeah, in Nebraska.
Oh, a girl, a 14-year-old girl.
Yeah,
she's
a child.
A child
who was shot by a white police officer. It was a haphazard kind of shooting, hit her in the back of the head and killed her. She was in a group of people. But the play is not about her death, it's about her life. And it's based on her and Vivian Strong and the history of it. But it's fleshed out with great imagination and beautiful storytelling by Monica. And it's directed by Gloria Cadigan. This piece has been to
They did it at
Fringe.
59 East 59 in 2000.
Yes.
Did you get to see it when I was there?
I did, and this is how this came to be.
So how did you find it?
Well, Monica, the playwright, and Glory, the director, are peers of mine with the League of Professional Theater Women, where I'm on the board. And they had invited me to come see it, and I didn't get to it, and then it was closing, and I'm like, I'm going to go support their work. I knew nothing about the play, just wanted to go support them. And I left saying, I want to bring this to the East End. It is so simply and powerfully told. The acting is extraordinary. And it won 3 Best of awards at Edinburgh Fringe.
Now, people want to see it. You can come. It's going to be this Saturday, the 29th.
4 o'clock.
How do you get tickets?
You go to the LTV website.
So it's ltveh.org. It's very simple. If you're interested in seeing this,
click your way through.
Yeah, but let's talk about this a little bit more because we were actually going to do it at the end, remember, and kind of hit it. But because you do so much out here. You just finished doing your Zima in Montauk that you do with the town. Tell us about what that is.
That's an annual outdoor production. Zima is Polish for winter. And I started it, it's in its 11th year maybe now. And it was primarily to get people outside.
In the winter.
In winter, in nature.
You're daring.
Yeah, well, I'm from Illinois, and I love winter. I love snow. I love the cold. And I think there's a lot of, we have not adapted so well as humans in this world to weather, and we complain about weather. And I think it's, it was just an opportunity to expand people's imaginations and really try to see the magic of winter.
You've done this how many years in a row now?
Like 11 now.
11. No, but what I missed, what I really wanted to talk about was your neo-political Cowgirls, which is a dance, theater, storytelling, empowerment for young women.
and old women and in-between women and transgender people and people of color and men and boys and yes.
But young girls are really what come to your school.
We have a ferociously exciting and passionate education arm that started because we were presenting workshops for girls to practice using their idea sharing skills and friendship making skills and listening and communication skills through theater making. And that's really where it started. And then
so
women,
your production of Zima is a neopolitical cowgirls production, and all your productions are usually site-specific in some kind of way.
Many of them, yeah, most of them are.
So we also, there's a video that we're going to show that kind of gives them a flavor. This is a promotional video for a site-specific show we did where?
We did it in a mansion in the Grace Estates here in the Hamptons. This was last March 2019. And we made it specifically for this home.
Well, this is called Voyeur?
It's Voyeur, which is, we have many incarnations of Voyeur. We've done something completely different, but voyeuristic in Berlin. In Guildhall, we've done it in Springs. We've done it in an old barn in the blacksmith shop. So sometimes the audience is inside, sometimes the audience is outside looking through windows and going around the space. Each new panel of windows presents a changing scene internally with the actors. So Voyeur is kind of a brand of ours that we use for...
so you could take this anywhere all over the world.
Anywhere, small spaces, humongous spaces, outdoor spaces, homes, correct. So this video is in someone's home.
And it's a promo for the piece that you did in the Bell Estate.
Grace Estate.
Grace Estate.
Yeah.
Grace Estate in somebody's mansion, kind of thing. So let's see this. That really captures the flavor of what you do. It does.
Does it? Good. Yeah. Well, it's nice to hear because, you know, we don't always know.
No, but I've seen a lot of your work. I saw Eve when you did Eve. How many seasons ago was that?
It was in 2015. Yeah.
Which was another site-specific, but this one had a theme to it. It was you were in it. It wasn't just
immersion. Yeah. Immersion. So it's this Voyeur was
had
immersive as well.
Qualities to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So let's, now we talked a little bit about you just doing Zima. We have some pictures. Can we show her some of the pictures of your people? Here we go. What is this?
That's Josh.
Oh, this is Josh. Oh, we didn't talk about Josh. We'll have to get back to Josh, your husband. Remember, we'll do a PS on Josh.
And that's Olivia. You just saw her in Voyeur at the end as well, too. She was in hysteria.
And she was...
Susan Stout and Julia Prince.
Oh, what? This is...
Do you know Elise Trucks?
No, I don't know any of them. I would never recognize them in these costumes anyway.
No, which is wonderful. It's great.
Now, what's Zima about?
Zima is different every year, but it's rooted in mythological storytelling. Usually about winter gods and goddesses, and it's a very Jungian. A lot of my work has a lot of Joseph Campbell kinds of allusions to it, and inspirations really. And Zima is very much about going underground, which is what winter is. It's going to the shadow spaces, the dark places, the dreamscapes. It's where we sleep, and we have to have that sleep. Just like nature has to have that sleep in order to have spring or to have ourselves bloom in a new way. And so it's a lot of metaphor, a lot of deep storytelling, and a lot of myth involved with that. But every year it's different, and it's a riddle, it's a scavenger hunt. So you're looking for the different vignettes of actors that are hidden away, in this case in Montauk, and trying to, with each new vignette, you're seeing it and you have to stop, watch, listen. There's no smartphones involved. It's very grassroots, pen to paper, to try to solve and find the riddle, or the answer to the riddle, the clues along the way.
And for how 11 years you've been doing it? It's really cool.
And it's cool, literally cool.
I really don't know how you do all these things and jump from one. Like just back in January, you did something that is called January Girls.
Yeah.
Tell us, what is that?
January Girls, I love, because we love it all. This is something I'm very passionate about, though, because it brings intergenerational girls and women together. We always say it's for girls aged 6 to 106.
How long does it for how long a period?
It's 4 Sundays in January.
Okay.
It's free for the participants, and we hire in local female artists of different walks of life. They could be filmmakers, fine artists is generally what we're using, and we come in. They have prompted writing on a theme. We have circles where we get introduced to each other. We have some physical theater movement games, and then we go into the activity with the teaching artist. So we might be speaking.
Where do you do it?
Well, this past year we did it at
So you have different
the
places.
Springs Presbyterian Church. So we try to take it in somewhat different directions so it feels accessible to everybody. And part of our advocacy is, we always say, please bring someone you don't know very well. Bring an immigrant girl, bring someone new to your school, bring the elderly shut-in woman who lives next door. Encouraging our community to reach out in a more hospitable way and in a brave way to be inclusive.
That's fabulous. How long have you been doing that?
Since we've done 2015-ish, 2016.
We have some photos of the participants in your Januaries. Here, look, it's just adorable. Now, what is this from this season?
This is this year.
This is this year's January Girls.
Yeah. And like for instance, the past 2 seasons we've had an artist named Josephine Smith from Shinnecock Nation come to teach, and we've had Cindy Pease Rowe.
What kind of a visual? What kind of an artist?
The first year she did beading,
Okay.
Native American beading, which is really hard, and it was great. It's very small, very tiny.
And does everyone
methodical work.
actually learn how to do it hands-on as well?
Yeah, absolutely. We pay for their materials, we pay for their time to come and teach. And this year, I actually wasn't there this year for her because it was on my birthday and I was
Do you have a sponsor?
away. We don't. We need a sponsor. This is one of the things we just scoop up and find the money for. But we do want to find a sponsor for this. It's important community work. And here's an interesting thing. We have one program for specifically for boys called Dude's Eye View. We're passionate about that, and we were so lucky and we're so grateful because for 2 years now, the Derrick Institute has funded that in its entirety, which is amazing. It's very exciting. It's in partnership with the Hamptons Film Festival. Even
in
though
partnership with the Hampton Film Festival, I just want to reiterate it.
yeah, as well as our Girls Gaze, which is our girls' new version of Dude's Eye View in the East Hampton High School. Now here's the thing, and I'm just going to say it, because people need to know this. We have been committed to girls and women for the entirety of our life as a company for 13 years now. We have worked tirelessly and passionately, ongoingly, to commit education and theater work stories to girls and women. We have had a harder time getting funding for girls and women for 13 years than we were having
For the Dude's Eye View.
for Dude's Eye View. The moment we
Announced
produced that, it was like that, it got covered. So this is a problem in our society. I don't think people get it. And I think many times they think, oh, because, girls can take dance classes and girls are in the arts in school and they tend to gravitate towards those things. But here's the thing is, these aren't just artistic, dalliances. These are not just hobbies. We are fundamentally actualizing power in their voices and space for them to come together to confront, conflict resolution, to confront issues of racism in their schools, and places for them to have organic conversation, and it's channeled into the arts. This is very socially aware, socially immediate work that we're doing.
Yeah, it's an issue within our societies where it really stems from.
And when boys have programs, it's immediately like, oh, that's wonderful. And when we have programs for girls and women, it's like, oh, that's nice. And people need to wake up to this.
You're changing it piece by piece. You're chipping at it. It's not something that happens instantaneous.
No.
So you have to
ask people of color. Ask them how, right? Like if this is an issue that I'm seeing as a white woman, right? Then, and this is one of the reasons I made Neopolitical Cowgirls, because I knew if I was struggling in this way, just as an aging woman, God forbid, we actually stay above ground for longer than 30 years in the industry of, acting. If this is a problem for a white woman, then think about what it is for a Native American actress, an Asian actress, a black actress, or, like I said, any woman over, 32. We're long in the tooth by then, according to most casting directors.
Well, yes, I know. I know exactly what you mean.
I've made you stutter. I apologize.
Because I'm long in the tooth. As an actor.
But that's also changing, right? Things are changing in that regard too, and it is chipping, and we will not live long enough.
I mean, we still go back to what Bernie Sanders said about Elizabeth Warren, right? And he wouldn't even own it. He said a woman couldn't be elected, and he wanted to backtrack it and not go there.
Well, there's verbiage that's built in,
only because
right?
we have more we want to talk about, and you made your point.
We'll have to come back from politics.
But I want to talk about this project that you did in Boston, and you had so many rave reviews about Hysteria. What was that? Because we have under 10 minutes now.
Hysteria is hysterical. We're going to show pictures,
yes.
right?
Tell me about it first, and then we'll show the pictures.
So Hysteria, we are so lucky, Neopolitical Cowgirls, is that through Bridget Fleming's office, the county legislator who's now running for Lee Zeldin's seat, her office recognized us as being people worthy of the omnibus grant, which I don't know if you know about this, but in Suffolk County, as in probably every county, I'm thinking and hoping, your representative can look and say, I like the work you're doing, it's committed to our community, it's doing good, keep it up, here's some money.
Bravo.
And so we've been, we're now, an annual recipient of this money.
Oh, how fabulous.
It's wonderful, and we are very thankful for that. And so because of this grant, in part, we were able to create this new piece. Our work is devised, so it's always something new that we're creating. And Hysteria is a piece, I thought of it specifically for Halloween because people love Halloween. And we wanted to create something that was terrifying and fear-inducing, right? Really get you. But here's the thing is, it's not where like people are jumping out at you, but we did it for Guildhall the first time, which is where this grant went to fund it. And then we also did it in Boston. And
so how long did it run for in Boston?
It was just a one-off.
Okay, but was it in sites?
Yeah, it was in the old Boston church.
Let's show them the pictures.
Yeah.
So you can talk about, if you want, hold the pictures until we say the next one, if she wants to tell us something about what's happening in the pictures.
So this is clearly in the old South Church, it's called, in Boston, which, if you're familiar with Boston, you know it. It takes up like 4 city blocks. It's humongous.
I bet most people aren't familiar with Boston, I'll bet you. 4 city blocks.
Yeah, it's a great city for the arts.
Okay, let's see the next one. Is this in the church?
Yeah, it's all of these photos, I believe, are ones pulled from the church, not from Guildhall. So this production, we had one cast for Guildhall, and then when we went to Boston, we took half of the cast.
Let's see the next picture.
And then the remaining cast, we plugged in Emerson College students. So then that's an Emerson College student laying on the floor.
Okay, let's have the next picture.
And so it gave Emerson College students a chance to work with...
college students too here?
Some of them are.
What's next?
2 on the left are, and then 2 on the right are my company members. And yeah, so this is, it's just so funny to look at the photos again. The lighting was crazy spectacular and weird and haunting.
They shows that you could feel it. You could just feel it here.
So it's based on 4 actual women who lived.
Okay, go next.
And
these are the 4 women?
Yeah. And they were based on real women who were reduced to being called hysterical and locked away. And this was our ensemble who played society.
So these 4, go ahead, one more picture.
That's Vanessa, who's bent backwards, and this is an Emerson student, Megan Robichard.
Okay. Is that the last picture on hysterical? So it was based on 4 women that were deemed hysterical and locked away. Is this what happened to them?
Yeah, yeah. And one of them, was a Freud patient, and so
Freud deemed her hysterical?
Yeah, and there's sexual abuse there, and the whole Freud thing is really complex. It's a dance theater piece, so a lot of the music. Most of the music, I think there was only one song that was not. The rest of the music was Tanya Tagak. I don't know if you know who that artist is. She's phenomenal. She's a Inuit throat singer from Canada, and haunting, terrifying music. And it's a dance theater piece, and it happens all around you.
Oh, wow.
So the entrance of bringing in the hysterics is a big push at the top, and you've got the preacher man, and we have the doctor, the physician.
How did you get to church?
They'll take anyone's money. I don't know that they'll have us back, to be honest, not because any damage, but it's a very humanistic piece. It's deeply humanistic. It's deeply disturbing and fear-inducing and sad and slightly hopeful at the end and curious, and you don't know as an audience when you're sitting there, am I the hysteric or am I the society? And I think we all have a foot in both. And so it really raises a lot of questions, humanistic questions.
Yeah, but I think that's the real answer to the question is we all have a foot in both, and how do people don't ever want to acknowledge what their part is the problem.
That's right.
No one wants to see themselves like the Michael Jackson. I have to start with the man in the mirror.
That's correct.
Starting with the man in the mirror theme. But now, will you take this again other places? Like this is a traveling one now.
Yeah,
right?
it's a traveling one. It can go in a church, it can go in a theater, and it happens in the theater, the house space as well as the stage space. We're very fond of tearing through walls of between the audience, and it's not about participation or that we don't I, God forbid, never put anybody else on stage, but you have that experience as an audience member of being right there and being part of it all, because we like that that veil to be ripped.
So in the process of doing it, did it change dramatically from doing it at Guildhall to doing it in this church?
I wouldn't say it changed dramatically. It was just 2 different experiences. I love my company members, and we will be packaging them up again and taking this to New York City. We're looking for in the fall. But I loved working with
So this is going to go to New York City in the fall?
Yes, yeah.
Bravo.
We're in the midst of, talk about, like you were saying,
cool.
cutting away. But the Emerson students, I loved incorporating young people into the experience, because the project in Boston we used as a fundraiser for an Emerson students memorial scholarship that we founded a year ago, when this boy, young man, was walking home from work one night and he got hit and killed by a hit-and-run drunk driver. The Lucas Flint Memorial Scholarship for Emerson College. So learning how you can make a story about being human,
Yeah.
while fundraising and bringing awareness to a social cause. Was wonderful working with the Emerson students and how to do that.
Only you know how to do that. But we have about 2 minutes, and we didn't even get to talk about in July, you're having the Andromeda's Sisters Gala, which
Yes.
is, so what's your website? Tell them what your website is.
N like Nancy, P like Paul, cowgirls.org.
And so you can find everything that she's doing, what's happening, and go there about the gala that's happening in July and participate in that. Now, lastly, let's go back to your show, Vivian's Music, 1969, a play by, refresh me again.
Monica Bauer.
Which and you're going to be doing this on Saturday here.
It's a live performance.
And they can get tickets at ltveh.org.
Yep. You can also get them at the door, too.
And you can get them at the door.
Sure.
Well, you want to talk? We have a minute. What can you say about it in a minute?
The acting is phenomenal. Kayla King, Russell Jordan from the city. They this play has been nominated for a Helen Hayes Award. Two of them, actually. I think one for a performance and one for the actual play. It's toured to DC. It's going back to Edinburgh this year. And it's a beginning place and then of conversation, because then we're going to have a post-show panel discussion led by Reverend Kimberly Quinn Johnson and Bonnie Cannon from the Bridgehampton Child Care Center. I don't know if you know her.
No, I don't.
Wonderful person. Laura Tucker.
Oh, wow.
And Nancy Stevens, who was an educator in Sag Harbor, will be on this panel. And we have a lot to unpack regarding
So how long is the
racism.
play? Is it 90 minutes? Is it one act? Is it
It's 80 minutes.
80 minutes?
Mhm.
Oh, so it's
One
plenty of
act,
time for a
straight through.
conversation afterwards to
Yes,
discuss
yeah.
exactly how we
Right.
impact things positively.
Well, how we all can step up and change what we need to change, right? Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
I've been wanting to have you out here. I love you, so thank you for.
I love you too.
I still don't know how you do all this stuff and keep it all together.
I don't keep it together.
And you're a
That's
mother.
the thing. None of this is together at all. It's imploding all the time.
It is.
And that's okay. Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure.